In this next video demonstration, we're going to do some performance monitor data collector set tasks. We're going to go down to the data collector sets and go down to the system area. It already has some predefined data collector sets from Microsoft, and we're going to run each of these for 1 minute and stop them, and then start the next one for 1 minute and stop it, start the next one for 1 minute and stop it. Then we're going to come back and look at the reports of each one of these different data collector sets. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one up, and again I'm going to let that roll for a minute, stop it, come back and do the next one. Alright, this has been running for about a minute now. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Go ahead and click on my system diagnostics, and we want to go ahead and start that one up and let it run for about a minute. Start it up, let it go. Alright, that's been running for about a minute now, so let's go ahead and stop it. Oh, it's not running. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and click on System Performance, and we're going to let it go for about a minute. So let's go ahead and start it up, and we'll come back in a minute and stop that one. Alright, let's go ahead and stop that. It's been running for about a minute now. Stop it, and then now that that has been stopped and we've run, the System Diagnostics data collector sets on all three of these, now we can now go down into our reports area under System and look at our Active Directory Diagnostics, System Diagnostics, and System Performance, and see that we have log reports for each of these. So we can go in there and look at each of these reports individually and get all kinds of detailed information from each one of these reports. Same thing with this one. And same here. So we get a lot of great information from these reports in Performance Monitor. Alright, the next thing that we want to do in our lab is run the reliability history monitor on our Windows 7 and servers A, B, and C to see which one of those is the most reliable. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with Windows 7, because we've got to do some additional configuration on our servers to make that happen. So what I like to do on Windows 7 is just start opening up reliability history by typing the word reliability down here, and it brings this link up. It's going to generate a report, and we can see that I have a scale of 1 to 10, and my line's right at 10. I have no errors, no problems really that's going on with my Windows 7 machine. I see some informational messages that I'm getting updates from or Windows definition updates for Windows Defender, which is not a problem at all. So I'm holding a steady line at 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm not sure any of my servers are going to be able to beat that out. So I'm going to say OK, and now let's go back over to each of our servers. I'm going to go to server A in turn. And we're going to have to do some registry modifications that are found there on page 543, steps 1 through 6 to make this happen. So let's open up our registry editor. And we're going to go to HK Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Reliability, Analysis. In the WNI enable, we're going to change that value from a 0 to a 1. And we know that when we're talking typically about binary, 1 means on, 0 means off. So now that we've done that, we're going to need to reboot our machine. So let's go ahead and do that now. And while A is rebooting, let's go ahead and do the same thing to server B. HK Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Reliability Analysis, WMI Enable, change that to 1, close out. We're going to need to reboot this one as well. And finally, we'll go ahead and do that for server C as well. HK Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, change that to 1, and then finally we're going to reboot. All right, let's see how server A is doing. Looks like it's coming back up, so we'll wait for our servers to completely finish rebooting, and I'll be right back. All right, now that our servers are back up and running, we want to open up Server Manager. And we want to go to Configuration. And let's go to Task Scheduler under Configuration. Let's go to the Task Scheduler library. Microsoft, Windows, and then the RAC. So let's go to RAC here. All right, we want to right-click Rack Task and go to Properties of that. We want to go to the Triggers tab, and we want to select the one-time event. Click the Edit button. Come on. All right, now let's do the Enabled checkbox. Say OK, and then OK again. And now we're going to right-click this task and do Run. And that's going to cause the task to run automatically every hour thereafter, even after this first time. So we're actually going to go on servers B and C and perform this same exact task. I'm not going to go through that whole process again, because you just saw me do that on A, but we're going to repeat this process on B and C. Hey, just as a side note on that, you know, with those turning on the reliability monitor on the server products, they have to run for a couple hours. I probably should have had you all do that as one of the beginning labs so you can get some feedback. So just as a side note on that. The last thing was we're going to create a new data collector set on B. So I'm going to open up Performance Monitor on B. And we're going to make our own little user-defined data collector set. And we're going to make it manually. We'll call this Processor Alert. I didn't specify what you had to call it, but we'll call it that. And we're going to do a counter alert so we can be alerted, and we're going to add a processor counter alert for % processor time. And we're going to say, listen, if that processor time gets up above 2, which surely isn't much, that we want to be notified about that. We're going to save and close that. And let's go ahead and start that. Why not? Let that run, and that's pretty much all we had to do. And I say I'm going to let that run. I'm actually going to go in and stop that. So every 15 seconds it's going to check for that. So all right, that's all we had to do in this lab. Thanks.